allow children to be children. I don't think you get me here. What did I say? Allow children to what? To be children. What do you think that means? When we say allow children to be children. Anyone who thinks they know what I'm talking about? When I say allow children to be children. Yes. Let them make mistakes and learn from them. Oh yes, is one of the things. Because they are still children. Let them be children. When they are children, let them be children. In other words, I'm saying when children are still children, let them behave like children because they are children. How do you expect them to behave like adults when they are still children? Are you getting me? When a child is still a child, they behave like a child. Are we together? When they are still children, they behave like children. But some parents, they expect a child to behave like an adult. Children, naturally, they go outside, they play, and they get themselves dirty all they can. That means it shows that they are still children. Don't expect them to behave like adults. When they do that, it shows, that's a sign that he's still a child. Are you with me, church? Yes, it's a sign of behavior. It is normal brain growth. When they ignore you and they go out and play and they get themselves dirty, it's normal for a child. You see that girl, he took the peanut butter bottle and just smearing the whole body and the whole, just doing that is the way they need to behave because they are children. Are we together, church? Then another important thing also, allow your children to participate, encourage them to participate in sports at school. It's very important. They must choose a favorite sport. They can play football, they can play tennis, they can play cricket. But the most important thing is for you to make them play some kind of sport so that they keep themselves physically fit. Then we go to the social aspect. The Bible in Proverbs chapter 22 verse 6 says, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. One of my favorite quotes says, you cannot teach an old dog new tricks. When a child is still young, remember I said from 0 to 12, that's when you need to instill all the discipline that you want in that child. Why? Because it is much easier to build strong children than to repair broken men. I think you agree with me on that. It is easy to build strong children than to repair broken men. You can see when they grow up and they are not disciplined enough, their behavior will show in their future life. The behavior will what? It will show in the future life of that child that discipline is lacking. Discipline will be lacking. Then we also go to the spiritual aspect, which is very important. It includes daily worship activities. Children should be taught to pray. They should participate in daily worship activities, family activities. No child should be left out. And every family needs to make sure that they have daily worship activities in the morning, in the evening, when they are about to sleep. Make sure that every child is present and they are also participating in the worship activities. Whilst also talking about the spiritual aspect, we also need to remember that our children need to know that when they get anything, they need to remember stewardship principles. Teach them stewardship principles to return tithes and offerings. Whatever they get, how much they get, $1, $2, they should learn to return tithes and offerings. And also teach them to learn to pray for themselves individually. I think this is very important. When you pray with your children during worship activities, teach your children that it is not enough. Are you with me, church? They need to pray for themselves in their own rooms. You are not with me, church. Teach them that you need to pray for yourself. Do your own prayers. And also every child, they must have own Bibles. Not family Bibles. You're not with me, church. Many of our children, they rely on our family Bibles, but most of our children don't have personal Bibles. Make sure that each and every one of your children, they have personal Bibles. Are we together? Then also make sure that you teach them to participate in club activities at church. It is very important. The youth, the Pathfinder clubs, the ambassador clubs, adventurer clubs, all those clubs, make sure that your child is participating in most of these activities. It makes sure that that child grows grounded in Adventist principles. Then you also need to make sure that you teach your child good manners, to behave responsibly in front of visitors. There are some children who misbehave when visitors come around. Huh? You know that some children have a tendency to misbehave when visitors come around, and you'll be so ashamed when that happens. So make sure that you teach them good manners, etiquette, sitting posture when handing food or greeting elders. They need to know what to do. Teach them 3 polite words. I'm sorry, thank you, excuse me. These are very important words. Children need to know, especially they need also to be taught not to speak vulgar language or vulgar words. And also they need to be taught respect for elders. Respect for elders. Proverbs chapter 29 verse 17 talks about disciplining our children. Discipline your son and he will give you peace. He will bring delight to your soul. You will bring delight to your soul. So discipline is no substitute. You have to discipline your children. But when we are talking about discipline, we have to remember that discipline is not necessarily punishment always. It's not always punishment. Science has shown that teaching works better than spanking sometimes or yelling at your child. Some children, they don't need to be spanked. Some children, you just need to talk to them and tell them nicely or kindly, then they can do whatever you want them to do. Also teach them to treat the opposite sex with respect. To treat the opposite sex with respect. There are some children who actually mistreat their sisters when they are still young. And the parents, they seem to be okay with that. They say, this is how he's like. This boy, he just does that. He doesn't want any funny tricks. You know, when your child is actually mistreating his sister, and you are teaching him that he's going to mistreat his future wife when you let him do that. Also teach them table manners. Some children have no table manners. Teach them what? Table manners. Talking whilst eating. A child should be taught that they don't need to speak when they are eating. And also teach them not to eat too fast as if they have a gun pointed at them. Or licking their fingers. Have you seen some children, they're licking their fingers? They do that. You have to teach them these table manners. If you let them do that, they will carry that on to their future life. They are licking their fingers. Even in their adult life, they will still be doing that. So children need to be taught table manners from an early age. When they are still young, we have to teach them this is a taboo, this is a no. Don't talk whilst you are still eating. Don't lick your fingers. Don't do this. All those table etiquette issues that you can teach them. Then a study shows that kids who dine with their family 4 times a week have better academic performance. This is one of the things that we also take for granted. But dining with our children at the same time, on the same table, it's actually good for them. Make sure that all the children, they are called to the table. We eat together as a family. It is actually of great benefit to them. Actually, academically, it improves their academic performance. You also need to teach your children not to answer back. Are we together? Answer back or interrupt when the elders are still speaking. Teach them not to answer back. Because most of the children of today, they answer you back. They interrupt you even before you finish speaking as a parent. And that's not a good sign. It's a discord. So children need to be taught never to interrupt when a parent is talking to them. Then we also need to remember that our children's abilities differ in as much as their faces are different. So each and every one of your children, their abilities differ. Don't expect the abilities of this one to be also the same abilities that the other one has. You have to value your children's uniqueness. Value their uniqueness, voice, eyes, fingerprint, and DNA, they are all different. Even when children have physical or mental limitations, they are special just as they are. So you have to nurture their talents in their uniqueness. Nurture your child's talents, because the talents of our children differ. Some of our children, they are good in music, they can sing. You have to nurture that talent. Are we together? Nurture that talent. Then also you need to make sure that you also nurture even when they have talent in sport. I need the power cable for the laptop. Power cable, yeah. If your child is good in sports, you have to nurture that talent as well. Some children, they are good in tennis, some are good in football, some are good in athletics. You can nurture that talent and make sure that it is groomed from an early age. Make sure that it is groomed from an early age. Okay. Some are good in music, some are good in acting, some are good in the arts, yes. So our talents, the children's talents differ. So we need just to make sure that we groom them and nurture those talents and appreciate them. Then we also need to make sure that our children grow with confidence by not always criticizing them, because criticism actually lowers your child's self-esteem. And when you continually criticize your child, they stop loving themselves. It was actually discovered that children who grow up with a lot of criticism, they grow up with a very low self-esteem.